This is Howzit China with Cliff Central and China Plus. Download the podcast on the Cliff Central website, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. That's right. Another week brings another episode, the third in our series so far, Howzit China. And today is a particularly auspicious day. It's the 1st of October, 2019, National Day of the People's Republic of China. And I thought that was probably quite fortuitous, right, Pums?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're going to find out about the Pretoria Chinese School. We're going to speak to Angela and John, who are the principal and deputy principal there. And we're also going to talk to Refilwe, who's a grade 11 pupil at the school. We'll talk a little bit about the language and some other interesting things. But I do think it's worth mentioning the founding of the People's Republic of China all the way back in 1949. And it was founded on that the 1st of October, today, in 1949, a ceremony celebrating the forming of the Central People's Government, which took place in Tiananmen Square on the same day that year. And this year, they're celebrating their 70th anniversary.
So, Gareth, if you lived your 1,000 years, you would remember a time before there was.
Yeah, well, listen, China existed as a country for many, many thousands of years before that.
And this is what's so incredibly fascinating about this country.
Well, among many things, it's quite interesting to note that China was, at that time, and at the founding of the country, one of the poorest countries in the world. Its per capita income was a little over $700 in today's prices, barely 5% of the United States at that time. And obviously now, there's a huge amount of progress that's been made. Between 1951 and 1977, consumption per capita increased by 50%. 40 years of reform turned China into the second largest economy in the world, and the largest manufacturer and exporter, the second largest spender on research and development. 6 out of 10 Chinese now live in cities, as opposed to then. It's incredible. With the opening up policy, there's been increasing exchange between China and the world. We could see the language education in schools taking place all over. There are many schools in South Africa that now offer Chinese as a course, as a language, an option.
We might even have government schools offering it.
There we go.
In a little bit to come.
While English is a must-learn subject in Chinese schools, foreigners are now also picking up Chinese languages. So I thought this episode we'd find out a little bit about how South Africans can learn the Chinese language. So let's welcome to the studio Angela Liu, who's the deputy principal at the Chinese school, Mr. John Gelling, who's the principal, and Refilwe. Nice to have you guys here. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Well, first of all, where exactly in Pretoria is the Chinese school?
It's in a little suburb called Wingate Park.
Mm-hmm.
If you know the Rigel off-ramp off the N1 going north, it's on the right-hand side.
I
Quite
do
close
know
to
that place.
the Rietvlei game reserve.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, very nice.
Yeah.
So how many pupils are there?
About 430 from grade 00 to grade 12.
Excellent.
Sure.
Yeah.
And okay, you can teach us a little Chinese this morning, because I'm assuming that everybody there learns Chinese. Refilwe, you've been at the school the whole of your high school?
I've been in the school since grade 1, actually.
Wow.
Really?
Yes.
Now, why did you decide, or why did your parents decide that was the school that they wanted to send you to?
I'm not really positive, but then as I have an older brother, he was born first, of course. So he went there before I did. So then I kind of just followed him.
You just had to
and
follow.
then in high school, I did want to leave. But then I thought, I'm doing well and I'm enjoying the language. I'm enjoying the school. I'm enjoying the subjects. So I just decided to stay. And I'm actually really happy where I am right now.
Good.
So do you and your brother gossip about your parents in Mandarin?
He left actually. He left before high school, so he kind of forgot how to speak in Chinese.
Really?
So I'm like the only person in the family that can speak Chinese. So it's kind
amazing.
of nice sometimes.
Do you find you're surprised sometimes at people who suddenly will speak Chinese somewhere around you and you can understand them and they don't think you can understand them?
Yes, actually, like when I go and buy Chinese food sometimes near my local Pick and Pay, there are some Chinese customers and they speak to one another, and it sometimes fascinates me how I actually also understand. I mean, sometimes I do want to barge in and just be like, hello, hi.
What's going on? Yeah.
But I'm like, let me just keep myself in check, compose myself, and yeah.
So how does the Chinese school work? John, Angela?
Well, we are typical South African school. We follow the IEB curriculum.
Okay.
But every single child from grade 00 to matric, it's compulsory to learn Mandarin.
Excellent.
And so we have a team of 5 Chinese teachers, of which Angela is in charge, 6 now.
Yes.
And they teach the kids Chinese writing as well, and also how to learn to speak Chinese.
You know what I was fascinated by when we were getting ready for this episode is the fact that there are so many different dialects of Chinese.
Yes.
And that they're not all mutually intelligible. Like when you speak Zulu, you can understand Xhosa, you can understand Swati. Is that not the way that the Chinese language works as well?
No, Mandarin is the official language. But if we hear other dialects, for example, a lot of local Chinese are Cantonese. My home language, one of my home language was Hakka, which is a little bit close to Cantonese. I don't speak Cantonese, but I can hear some. But if I listen to another dialect, say from Fujian province or from Sichuan province, that's like another foreign language to me. Wow. So it's like totally different.
And this is because China is such a huge country.
Vast.
Yeah, and they are 56, ethnic groups. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Right.
So do we have a lot of people in South Africa that come to you and say we'd really like our kids to learn to speak Mandarin because we think that's where the future is, and is that the main motivation?
I think there are 2 reasons. One, we are a small school, so the classes are relatively small, and the second one is to learn Mandarin. I mean, I think there's a growing demand for learning Mandarin, and some of our past pupils have been really successful in following up on that. One of them had a job for Sun City where they did interpreting when they got Chinese visitors.
Oh, wow.
So that's an
Made a
avenue
lot of
that
money.
wouldn't have been possible if he hadn't had that opportunity. And he's fluent, absolutely fluent in Mandarin. And many of our kids
what's the
are.
composition of the school? In my mind, I kind of think it's a Chinese school, therefore it's predominantly Chinese
Not at
children.
all. It's about 10% Chinese,
Really?
some Koreans, and the rest are South Africans.
Wow.
Yeah, it was only for the Chinese children before 1992. And then in 1992, we opened up to the South African kids. And at the moment, the Chinese children are like a small percentage, mostly South African kids. Yeah, but Chinese Mandarin is our compulsory subject. Yeah.
And what's the medium of instruction? So I also went to a foreign language school, and we had a dual stream. So in some parts of the school, the language of instruction, so you did history in German, you did science in German. What's your medium of instruction at your school?
English.
English.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So most of the subjects are taught in English, but obviously the languages like we have Mandarin, we have Afrikaans, and then Zulu up to grade 4. Then they will be taught partially in that particular language. Yeah.
How easy is it to learn Mandarin? If you've spoken English and you've had like the Greek alphabet your whole life and you haven't really written in another language?
Well, it's amazing how children learn Mandarin. I think learn anything when they are so young. Like our little ones, preschool, they can count up to 200 in grade note. And they can sing like 10 songs, and they can do various, easy.
Is this your nice way of saying that we're too old to learn?
Ask John. We teach our teachers. All our teachers learn Mandarin as well, but they struggle.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, because everything's in English in the school, so we don't get a chance to speak Mandarin.
Yeah.
When I talk to Angie, it's always in English.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And all the other Chinese teachers that we have can talk English, so everything's done in English. But the kids, by grade 1, if they've been there from 00, they can almost conduct their lesson largely in Mandarin already because the kids are learning it and they pick it up.
Yeah.
Rafil can talk Mandarin.
Come on, Rafil.
Come on, Rafil.
Yeah. Show off a bit.
Tell us about the National Day of the People's Republic of China and how we're celebrating 70 years here today.
Well, personally, I don't know much about that. I know a lot about the fun things that happen in China.
Okay.
All right, give
I
us
know
some of
about-
that.
So-
Go in Mandarin.
2
though.
sentences.
And then afterwards you can translate for us. Go on.
Okay, I'm not that good in my Chinese.
Go on.
We're
what-
not good at all.
We wouldn't know if you make a mistake. We're not going to know.
Okay.
How about we first say happy birthday to China to start with? Yeah. Do you want to learn
Yes.
some Chinese?
Yes.
Let's go. Teach
Yeah.
us at the same
Okay.
time.
So China, yeah. So first we say China. 中国
Zhonghua.
中国
中国 g 国
Zhonghua.
中国
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 Yes. And
Right.
then happy birthday we say
生
生
日
日
快乐。
快乐. So 生日
生日
Yes, that means birthday.
生日快乐。
快乐
快乐。
That's happy.
快一点。
生日快乐。
Yes. So
生日快乐。
yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Well
生
done.
日快乐
Yeah.
中国
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 中国。
生日快乐.
So they teach the kids the happy birthday song,
Yeah,
but
that's
in
right.
Chinese, you see. So they sing it.
Okay, shall we
And
do
it's
it?
exactly the same tune that we use, but it's in Mandarin.
Yo, no, I
Go
cannot
on.
sing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well
okay. Fifi, let's do it. Okay, 1、2、3。祝你生日快乐，祝你生日快乐，祝你生日快乐，祝你生日快乐。Even John can do it.
Very good. Do you speak some Mandarin outside of school?
No.
No. You don't have any friends
I
you can
have
speak
no
this to?
claim to fame in that area. at all. Andrew's been trying for 4 years, and it's too difficult. It's just practice, you know. Practice.
Is there a
practice.
big Chinese community in Pretoria?
Not really. Yeah. I
Do-
think
do a lot
more Chinese in Johannesburg. Yeah.
And do a lot of people travel through to school every day from Johannesburg? It's quite a long way.
No. The furthest we have is somebody that comes from Hartbeespoort Dam.
Wow.
Whoa.
Which is quite a trip,
That's a hell of a distance.
but not from Johannesburg.
Wow.
Yeah.
There are lots of schools government schools now and some independent schools that are offering Mandarin as a choice subject, whereas ours is compulsory. So that's the difference. Because the government introduced Mandarin as a second additional language that they can write for their matric exam 4 years ago now, I think 4 years ago, because we've had the second lot of matrics this year. Or the third lot of matrics this year, writing matric.
writing an
Second year,
IEB
yes.
Yes.
paper
IEB or government. The IEB sets the exam and the government uses the same paper.
And so do you also do written
Yes.
Mandarin, so and with the characters?
Yes.
Is that how you that is
From
cool.
grade 4.
From grade
so
4.
from preschool to grade 3 is mainly conversational, like we learn listening, speaking, and then from grade 3 they started to learn the phonetics system, and then from grade 4 then they start writing, from the easier characters, and then when they get to matric level, then they must be able to do creative writing. They must understand the question and answer in characters. Yeah.
Is it tough, Rafule?
It kind of is a bit challenging, but at the end of the day, especially our Chinese paper 2, since I take Chinese as a subject, our paper 2, at the end of the day, when you're done writing, it looks so nice because it's only characters and you just feel proud of yourself, and
It's amazing.
yeah.
I would love to be able to do that.
You and your calligraphy. That's totally.
I'm actually really jealous of that.
Yeah.
How difficult is it to write in Chinese?
Well, it's a matter of knowing your characters and sentence structure. So if you don't know your characters, it's going to be very difficult for you, because in Chinese there are a lot of characters that look the same, and there are a lot of characters that have the same meaning but a different way of writing it and things like that. So we learn traditional. So it's a thing of you can't mix your simplified and your traditional Chinese in your exam. So you need to know all your traditionals, and if you put in a simplified version, then it'll be wrong, if I can put it like that.
Yeah.
And what is it like for you, kind of the switch over between the various languages? Because how many languages do you speak?
I speak quite a few.
Yeah,
At home, I
right?
speak like English and Spedi and other languages, and at school, I personally sometimes find it difficult, especially if I have like Chinese in the first double period and then the next period I have Afrikaans, because in Chinese we have tone signs that when you pronounce your words, you have to pronounce it in a specific tone. So when I switch to another language, I kind of say a word in a tone sign, and people ask me why you putting a tone to it, and then they call me dramatic. So I'm just like, okay, you wouldn't understand really why I do it, but it's just a habit. It just happens. It's something natural that just comes to me now.
And what are you hoping knowing the language will do for your future?
Well, personally, after I'm finished with high school and everything, I have two plans. One of my plans is to obviously study in China. I am working on getting a scholarship there to study there. And if that doesn't work out, then I'm still going to try. But then I would also like to do translating in certain places like Sun City or Gold Reef City or whatever, just to, get money in, because it is a good opportunity and everything such.
No, I mean, listen, being able to speak Mandarin is going to become even more important on our continent in the future. So this is already an area that's full of business potential, and the ability to then just deal with tourists and that kind of thing is almost an added extra.
Yeah, in
just
fact,
imagine.
Fifi is going to China in about 2 weeks' time
Wow.
because of the competition that she participated 2 months ago.
Oh, yes?
Yeah, do you want to talk about
What
it?
did you win a competition?
Yes, it was the Chinese, the 12th. Yes,
汉语
sorry,
桥
the 12th Chinese bridge competition. It's a competition basically where you have to do a speech for about
3 minutes.
3 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes, 3 to 4. A talent for about 5 minutes, and you have to write a test that is only in characters.
Wow.
No English whatsoever. So even your name, you have to write it in characters. And
Yeah, and this is only for non-Chinese
Yeah.
speakers.
So what was your talent part?
I dance.
Ah,
Because as you heard, I cannot sing.
that's pretty amazing.
And what are
Okay.
the cultural aspects of the schooling like? So do you, I understand that it's like any other private school in South Africa, but do you have, because it's a Chinese school, do you have lots of cultural activities to immerse the kids in the Chinese culture?
Yes, during the day we normally focus on the academic part of the language, and then we have cultural clubs in the afternoon. We also do cultural activities during the daytime, like in the normal timetable. Especially when it comes to, like, for example, we just celebrated Moon Festival, and then a few months ago it was a Dragon Ball Festival. So that then we do relevant activities.
What's a Dragon Ball Festival?
Dragon Ball Festival?
Is it like Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah, then and you must have heard about Dragon Boat Race. Yeah, so that's what that.
You see
It's
them
about-
often in like the Hong Kong harbour.
Yes.
They're doing those
Yes.
It's an
races.
international competition. Yeah.
Yes.
I believe there used to be a South African team as well. I'm not sure about now. Yeah. So then in the afternoon we have various cultural clubs run through different phases. So like they do like cultural related activities, paper cutting, calligraphy, painting. Well, depending on the different ages, so they do what the children can manage. And then we also have dancing club, we have drumming club. Yeah.
It sounds amazing.
Yeah, so Fifi is one of the members in the dancing club, and
Very
you do
good.
cultural as well, hey?
Yeah.
And I see you're also a major quiz winner. I see lots
Yes.
of badges
Yeah,
on your
she's
jacket.
so talented.
Wow.
I recently just had the Pretoria News or IOL newspaper competition,
Oh, yeah?
and it's
You
a
won
very-
it, huh?
Yes, last year we won runner-up. It was our first time entering. Well, it was the first time actually in Pretoria where they hosted. So our team, we had 2 teams last year. We always have 2 teams. So our team, we were team 1. It was me and 3 other boys within my school. So then last year we won runner-up, and then this year, this is regional round. We won runner-up, and then this year, we won first place.
Very good.
You should invite Gareth, because
Yeah.
he's got lots of
Useless
useless
info.
information in his brain. And this morning he was actually complaining that he's never won a quiz.
Oh well.
No, I have. How dare you, Puma? But I think it would look very odd if I suddenly arrived at your table with the 4 of you. So
Yeah,
that
you can be
funny
like a
enough.
mentor.
No, would not be useful. Plus, of course, my Mandarin is useless, so we wouldn't even try that. All right, let's do some basic stuff, though, because I think it would help for a lot of people who might be listening to this to know just how to say hello.
Yeah, good morning.
And say thank you and please and those kinds of things, because those are useful things to learn. So, Rafilwe, you go ahead and teach us. Now, you can be the teacher for a change.
Okay.
So how do you greet, first of all?
Okay. Well, in the afternoon, you would usually say like ni hao or nin hao. Nin hao. The word nin means you. Yes.
Yes.
But it's a more respectful way of saying it. So you say nin to like your elders and everyone.
Okay.
But then ni is more like a casual to your friends, to your peers and everything. So like ni hao, that is in the afternoon more or less. And then in the morning you say zawan, or like in the morning when I go to school and then I see my teachers, I say lao shi zawan, which means good morning teacher, because lao shi means teacher.
Lao Shen.
Lao shi, yes. And then xiao zhang is principal. So then I could say xiao zhang hao instead of xiao zhang ni hao, or like something like that.
Right.
So then, thank you is xie xie. That is one thing that everybody knows.
Xie xie.
Xie xie.
Even Sia knows that one.
Oh yes, I heard earlier. And then please is like ching. So like when I say may I ask, it's
Qingwen.
like chingwen. Yeah, chingwen. And then it's like when I ask a question, woyo wenti. Okay, that actually means like I have a question. But yes, like that. And then in class when you want to go to the bathroom or anything like that.
That's an important one. How do I find the ladies?
That's very
you just say
important.
我可以上厕所吗? Which is like
Say that slow, man.
我可以上厕所吗? And then a person would reply 可以.
I'm going to have to listen to this again in the
我
podcast.
我可以
我可以
可以
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 我可以
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 上厕所
上厕所
吗?
吗?
可以.
Yeah, Ma makes it into a question.
Yes.
See, I
Ah,
did learn
Yes,
something
well
yesterday.
done, John.
Well, there's also another way of putting it into a question by like taking your verb, putting pu, and then the verb again. So like instead of saying ni hao ma, how are you? You could say ni hao pu hao.
Oh,
uh-huh.
very good.
I'll just say ni hao ma.
Yeah.
Good.
I'll just be respectful and say nin hao.
Yes.
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 See, I'm learning little bits. I love languages.
You have
I think-
potential.
Thank you. I'm neat. Is there any place that adults can get lessons in Mandarin, except obviously for private tutors? Are there places around South Africa where you can?
We do offer adult classes at our school on
Really?
Saturdays. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. And there are a few of our students travel from Johannesburg because we say to them, there are other people in Johannesburg, but they say, no, they like the Pretoria Chinese school.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's good to learn it in a good environment.
And do you offer classes for kids that are not students in your school? Like if you have an adult class on a Saturday afternoon or whatever, do you have one for kids?
Not at the moment because we actually don't have enough manpower. Yeah, we
Uh-huh.
struggle to find like good qualified teachers in Pretoria, even in South Africa. As a matter of fact, yeah, it's so difficult.
Yeah, we advertised for a teacher, Chinese teacher, Mandarin teacher last year, and there wasn't one reply.
Are there perhaps?
See, Refilo, that's another thing. You could become a teacher and you could teach Chinese.
could.
About that.
She'll probably earn more money doing other things. Translation.
Are there no teachers that might want to come across from China to teach?
That's the
There
only
are.
source.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only source.
So most of the teachers that are teaching in the government schools with the Department of Education, they come across from China on a contract, say 4
Right.
years, and then they go back. So there's quite a bit of turnover.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, the reason Pumi's asking about lessons for children is she's trying to palm off her son on Saturday mornings to you guys to look after and teach Mandarin.
Yeah, it's like it would be a win-win.
Yeah.
I win a Saturday morning, he wins Mandarin lessons.
There we go.
See?
What fantastic planning. That's excellent planning. We know that your intentions are pure, Pumi.
Always,
I know that
always. It's always in the
all
best
about you
intentions of
wanting
the
to
child.
teach Kanejo some
Best
Mandarin.
intentions of the child.
I know, very good. Obviously, I would imagine the school has grown over the years. It probably started off much, much smaller, and it's adding new numbers all the time, right?
Well, it's been around since 1934.
Wow.
And if you look at some of the old pictures, there are very few children at some stages. Then it grew. So it's fluctuated.
Our last guest, his dad came to teach at
That's
that
right.
school. We had a guest a couple of weeks ago, and his father actually came here to teach at that
Water
school.
pond.
Yes.
Yes,
See?
we know
Yes,
him.
I listened to that podcast yesterday. So,
Okay. So you guys we're all paying attention.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is terrific. Okay, so there are places for adults to learn on a Saturday, and then you've got these 400 odd students at your school at the moment.
Amazing.
Do they do all the regular subjects as well?
Yes.
So it's you get a standard IEB education by the
correct.
end of it. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, so the engineering, graphics and design, geography, physical science, life science, all the normal subjects.
Sure, that's magnificent.
Come
And
on,
then they
everybody.
can choose, we give them the option to choose to do Mandarin as one of their matric subjects when they will write the IEB exam. If they choose not to, then we have an internal exam and we give them a certificate from our school
Huh.
saying that they are proficient in Mandarin. Because some of them don't want to do it, as a
as a
examination
It's a matric
subject.
subject. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of our teachers, actually, she's the director of the school now, Mrs. Jennifer Nielsen. So she was appointed as the oral moderator, and she also oversees the portfolio work of the students for the IEB matric exam, Mandarin matric exam.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Do we have any idea of how many other people there are in South Africa that are at Chinese schools, or at least doing Mandarin as a subject? Is it in the thousands? Is it in the
Yeah,
hundreds?
I've got some information here that I would like to share.
Sure.
So most of the other schools, they have teachers from China, and they are sponsored by Confucius Institutes. So
Okay.
Confucius Institutes, they have Chinese schools in the universities level, and then Confucius classrooms are in the schools like primary school or high school level. So at the moment, South Africa has the most Confucius Institutes and classroom in Africa. So
Awesome.
there are 6 Confucius Institutes, so that's offered in the university level, and 3 Confucius classrooms. And there are 54 Chinese teachers plus the volunteers. About 45 schools offer Mandarin at the moment. So on the number side, over 7,100 learners at the schools, and then over 1,300 students at the universities, and the adults is about 450.
Sure.
Yeah, so it's
So
getting.
nice.
Some years ago, we were the only school in South Africa that offered Chinese Mandarin. But now, I think a lot more schools offer that. But I think we are still the only school that offers from preschool to matric. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So for that, we're very proud.
Well,
True, it's
Refilo,
unbelievable.
very proud of you, and thanks for coming in this morning and showing off a little bit.
Thank you for inviting
I'm
me.
sure that you've made a lot of people jealous, and you've made people like me think that maybe we should actually learn some Mandarin, because I do think it's important. It's one of the most widely spoken languages
Yeah.
in the world, and I think that it's a tremendous advantage to have the ability to speak and understand and write Mandarin. It's terrific. Good for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, even if you weren't sure when you just followed your brother into the Chinese school, now you know you made a good decision. Huh? Very,
And
very
good
cool.
luck. Good luck
Thank
in
you
your
so much.
competition
Thank
in
you.
China.
Absolutely, enjoy it. And when you've been over there and you've seen lots of things and experienced lots of stuff, come back and tell us.
No problem.
Awesome. Thank you very much, John. Thank you so much,
Thank
Angela.
you.
Thank you
Pleasure.
very much,
Yeah.
and thank you for joining us on
So
our
cool.
3rd episode of Howzit China. We will be back with more, and we've got lots of interesting stuff to still explore. So don't go anywhere. This is Howzit China with Cliff Central and China Plus. Download the podcast on the Cliff Central website, app, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.